This is the Listen Up Future Nurse podcast, and you're listening to Episode 6, Simply Faith, Inspiring Confidence, Perseverance, and Resilience in Nursing. Dr. Samantha Faith Calhoun, a nurse with perseverance who is passionate about empowering the next generation of nursing students, shares her inspiring journey from being the first in her family to graduate college to earning her PhD. She offers valuable insights to building confidence and resilience in the face of challenges. Tune in to hear her dedication to nurturing future nurses and her mission driven work with Simply Faith Friday and her new book she'll be releasing.
You're listening to an episode of Listen Up Future Nurse Podcast. Scan the QR code if you're watching, or click the link in the podcast show notes to get your virtual remote. Make sure to tune in and subscribe on Spreaker and follow us on all your favorite podcast locations. And watch us live online on all of your favorite social media sites.
No login, no problem. No matter if social media isn't your thing or you're taking a break, you can listen in right on our website. Save your data and this episode by downloading it from our website, nursinginspired.com/podcast. So if you have to take a pause, you don't lose your place where you were listening or your battery power. That'll also help our podcast rankings rise to the top.
This podcast is hosted by Fallon M. Flowers.
Dr. Samantha Faith Calhoun is a registered nurse and clinical assistant professor in the College of Nursing at the University of Memphis. She is a beacon of compassion, inspiration, resilience, and unwavering determination. With nearly a decade of experience as a nursing professional, including 6 years in academic nursing, Samantha's journey has been rewarding, beginning at 22. Born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee, the first to graduate from college, the first nurse, and PhD in her family, Samantha exemplifies the spirit of breaking barriers and paving the way for others. Her life's mission is to live authentically and to take up space as a quiet giant with the fearlessness to be true to her core values and her calling to care for others. Challenges and self-discovery mark Samantha's path to earn her PhD, which was not an uncommon theme in her overall academic journey. Samantha reflected on valuable lessons from a pivotal moment when she withdrew from her nursing program during the second semester due to the challenges of the rigorous course load. In those tough moments, the compassion of her academic dean intervened, seeing a potential in Samantha that she didn't believe in at the time. She not only persevered through nursing school, but faced the additional challenge of failing her boards after graduating, only to rise again with faith and clarity regarding her purpose as a nurse educator. Samantha feels blessed to enter students' lives precisely when they need someone to understand and guide them through self-doubt. In addition to her academic and professional achievements, Samantha's commitment to making a difference extends beyond the classroom. Her dissertation research was inspired by the struggles of Black men in her family and her patients with hypertension. Her study examined Black men's shared decision-making preferences in the U.S. Mid-South region. Furthermore, Samantha and her husband, Jeremy Calhoun, passionately served the Mid-South through their nonprofit STS Enterprise and Simply Faith, a women's faith coaching ministry. As Samantha continues her journey, she hopes to inspire those around her to be a vessel for positive change. Whether a nurse scientist, leader, educator, or simply as a compassionate human being. Samantha's self-published book titled Simply Faith, a Brown Girl's Book of Encouragement for Nursing School, I Already Quit, So You Don't Have To, is set to be released in 2025. Samantha hopes to inspire others to live authentically, believe in themselves, and use their gifts to make a difference. Hello, hello, hello. Hello to all
Hello.
my listeners. Hello, Dr. Samantha Calhoun. Welcome back and welcome to all the first time listeners and repeat listeners as well. How are you, Dr. Samantha?
I am so well. I had an opportunity to listen to that intro, and it amazes me every single time that Lord, you are amazing. I can't even put into words how blessed I feel to be able to share the gift of the struggle to somebody,
Hey,
you know what I mean, who can use it.
absolutely. 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 And thanks so much for coming on to the show today for our podcast. Um, where are you hailing in from now currently?
I am from the good old Memphis,
Oh,
Tennessee.
you're still in Memphis. Okay. All right. Yes. All righty. So, just wanted to make sure the listeners knew, to identify somebody that might be near them and everything. So, and I'm here in Chicago, aka Chi-Town. Well, all right. Well, I want to jump right into it today. So, we heard in your bio some of your background and how long you've been a nurse, and some of the challenges you had while in nursing school and somewhat after nursing school. But I actually want to take us back just a bit and want to know actually what made you want to become a nurse, and just tell us more about being a first generation graduate getting your PhD in nursing.
Yes, so and thank you again for having me, Fallon. So I watched my mom growing up. My mom and dad, they worked very hard. My mom was in the medical field as a nursing assistant. So I watched her work multiple jobs as a caretaker, and just her compassion that she had about the patients, but also the nurses that she worked with. She had a deep admiration for the nurses that she would express who took care of her and really instilled in her a vision to keep going. And I just remember my mom coming home and just telling us those stories about the nurses who encouraged her to want more. And that seed is sprinkled off to me. My mom, she didn't directly tell me you need to go to nursing school. I just watched her compassion, and I wanted a little bit. I wanted that. I wanted that excitement and that compassion and that joy. I knew that she instilled in me a love and a passion for education. I knew that I was going to go to college. But at a young age, I would say as early as around 7 or 8, I knew that it was going to be nursing. So I
Wow.
wasn't one of those students that had to figure it out. I knew at that age that I wanted to go to school to become a nurse. But that journey from the idea of pursuing nursing, going through that process was it was rocky. I'll be honest.
Mhm.
I was a student who I made good grades in school. I I was gifted academically, so
Mhm.
that wasn't a challenge, for me. But it was when I went to study for the nurse entrance exam.
Okay.
I failed that test 3 times. That was one of my first experiences with, this not gonna be as easy as I thought it would be. And so my journey into nursing school was had so many challenges. But I just remember that first test where I felt like God was saying, "Hey, I'm gonna have to show you that you're gonna have to lean on me. You're not gonna be able to depend on your grades. You're not
Mm.
gonna be able to depend on your own strength, basically." So that
Mm.
first entry into nursing was met with my first challenge. And
Mhm.
I remember praying so vividly. I said, Lord, okay, I can't do this without you. I need you to show me what to do as I was studying for my nurse entrance exam, and just, going through that rejection the first
Mm.
time, the second time, and the third time. And I
Mhm.
actually applied to nursing school and was rejected the first time. They told me, you've taken all of your prereqs, you've done well in your sciences,
Mm.
but because you have not passed this entrance exam, which was the last requirement I still needed to meet, unfortunately, we can't accept you this term. Go take the test again and then reapply.
Wow.
So that was the first challenge that I said, okay, I see that I'm going to have to switch up my strategy because the grades aren't going to be the only thing that is going to help me in this program. So long story short, we see that I made it into nursing school. And I'm pretty sure we'll talk more about the challenges that I faced while in school, but just that first encounter with rejection shaped the rest of my academic journey. When I tell you, if I did not have that moment, because God is so faithful, he gave me the confidence that I could do it. You know what I mean? Allowing me to do well in school and, not really having to worry about trying to get a GPA up or anything like that. I didn't have that challenge. It was the challenge that I had to face of not depending solely on myself.
Wow. My God. That's so powerful. You just, just brought out so many things in what you said. And I think, and the whole thing, for some reason, I don't know why, but the entire time while you were talking and you were telling that part of your story, I kept looking at your middle name, Faith. I said, yeah, that's some faith right there. Because of a lot of students, no matter if they, know like yourself when they're at a young age, 6 or 7, or if they find out later that they want to go into nursing and maybe they are, they've always gotten straight A's and A's and B's and been on the honor roll and summa cum laude and all of this stuff. And then they get to nursing and it's like, and all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, I've always been a good student. I study hard. I know these things. But that goes really into the perseverance that you had, I think I'll say. So, it was your faith and your perseverance. I mean, just with knowing from that age that you wanted to become a nurse, getting to that point, hit one stop, but didn't give up, tried again, prayed throughout that whole thing. And not only was it the test, but it was also the hit of the nursing program that you applied to too. I mean, that's a whole nother hit in itself. Because it's like, all right, yeah, I know I didn't pass that test, but that's just me to just know that. No, they know it too. And anybody else that you were applying to too. So that's hard, knowing that, but you not only persevered, but you overcame and then some, because now you are Dr. Samantha Faith Calhoun. Come on, somebody.
Listen, that's a whole nother story for a different day. But if whoever, sees this, and I pray, before we, started on today, that Lord, this will reach whoever it's intended to reach. But if anything, I want to normalize the struggle, the challenges, and if nobody is real with you and lets you know that not only is it challenging, because nursing students or people that are interested in nursing, once they find out that I'm a nurse, they'll ask, was it hard? Was nursing school hard? And it's grown to be one of the questions that I'm like, that's the least of your concern, wondering if it's hard or not. It's the internal battles that you're going to have to overcome, especially as a first person in your family to go to college, the first nurse, whatever you find yourself being, the first entrepreneur, the first we see enough of us, what I'm saying, that are blazing the trail. And there's so many people. That's why when I saw your platform, Fallon, I'm like, man, this is so good, because so many people need to see the backstory behind this and have an opportunity to hear real people, what I'm saying, share their journey. So, yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I mean, when you just said that first, yes, I am also myself. I'm the first nurse in my family. And I'm not the first entrepreneur. I am the first nurse in my family for sure. And then between my mother and father, I am the first to get their bachelor's degree, I guess I'll say. I don't think my brother beat me out because I did have some delays because everybody sees my bio and all that stuff now. And it's just like, yeah, okay, you see all those awards, you see all that stuff, but y'all don't know I failed out of my first year of college. Okay, failed. Okay. So I'm right there with you. And I understand. So that wasn't while I was in nursing school. I did all of my went through some of my greater challenges, I think, before nursing school. So that made me stronger by the time I got to nursing school. So that wasn't my first time. So by that time I was starting, I was 24. So, and how old were you when you were starting your nursing program, actually?
So I entered college at 17.
Oh,
I think at that point I was probably 19. I had just turned 19 because I
okay.
graduated when I was 21 from
Okay.
nursing.
All right. Oh, yeah. But well, you were a young nurse. You were a baby nurse.
Baby in all of the words. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was almost 30. Yeah, I was almost 30 by the time I graduated nursing school and everything. So yeah, to be a nurse at 21, I mean, it's a lot of students and folks out here that are blazing through. They going through as LPNs in high school by the time, and they'll be RNs by the time they're 21 as well, or even earlier, depending on how they do things and everything. So that's, I think still a pivotal time when we think about how confident, how we're building our confidence, just going from teenagers and young adults to adulthood and everything, and then to kind of be going through having been such a great student academically and just a good upstanding citizen overall, and then you hit like this brick wall of I'm getting rejected from nursing school and rejected from these entrance exams. It's like, what is going on? Um, and with that, I do want to make sure that we are talking about some of your challenges, your personal challenges that you went through actually, and how that shaped your approach. But I also want to know, with those challenges in all of this, were you the only Black student in your pre-nursing courses or nursing courses along with your challenges?
So with pre-nursing, here in Memphis, it was a mixture of us. I will say that I wasn't the only one.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up and going to school, elementary school, I was in optional programs, and I may have been one of two or maybe the only one in my classes. But nursing school
Mm-hmm.
for sure, we were the minority, of course.
Mm-hmm.
A large number of us started out in the first semester, but towards graduation, that number decreased significantly for minority students. The blessing of it is now that that has changed drastically. Me being able to see the students who are persevering through, and that number is increasing for us here, of course, in the program that I have the opportunity to teach in.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't mean that I didn't feel. I'm going back to when I was in nursing school.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't necessarily make me feel that I was good enough. Even seeing some, people that look like me, it helped for
Mm-hmm.
sure. But that internal struggle of, okay, yeah, Sam, you're here, but are you actually smart enough to make it
Mm-hmm.
through? And I questioned myself the entire time,
Oh my
even
God.
up until graduation. I question myself, things that I'm open with sharing now, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have the confidence, I didn't have the comfort level to be able to express the moments where I felt like I wasn't smart enough or where I felt like I wasn't capable enough. It showed up in different ways. It showed up in me isolating myself, trying to do it on my own. It showed
Mm-hmm.
in me not asking questions. That's the whole point of you being in nursing school, is to ask questions.
Yeah.
Showed up in me not seeking help early enough. Like, I wasn't proactive in asking questions. I
Okay.
waited until it just got entirely too bad and too much for me to handle
Mm.
before I asked questions, because I'm like, surely if I ask questions, they're gonna find out that, oh, I was about to say we let one slip through. She's
I
not
know.
supposed to
I
be
know.
here.
It's all right.
We made a mistake. How do we let this girl in? You know what I mean? So these are the things that the thoughts I had to wrestle with. Like,
Mm,
it's me. It's surely me. I'm the problem. And so I went into this phase where I was just hiding and just barely making it through when that shouldn't have been my experience. But because I think sometimes that comes along with being the first, you really, who do you go to
Yeah.
to tell that side of it, to really tell how you truly feel, so.
Wow. And was this just thinking back to your bio, was this from the time that you kind of had to leave after that first year, or was this just when you went back as well?
So this is the thing. So my first semester, I get in and I do well. I do well enough. You know when they say C's get degrees? That was my only goal. I said, you know what? If I make it past this first semester, okay, I can do this. I did it. God, he allowed me to pass. I barely passed. I steered my way through.
Yeah.
And then second semester hit me like a ton of bricks. And in my program, that second semester was that make it or break it. Hey, this is where they weed you out.
Wow.
You're gonna figure out if you cut out for this or not. So, anyways, so I'm barely making it through. I'm talking about I'm failing, barely passing every exam. And I told myself, this is it. You're not gonna be able to come back from this. You might as well go ahead, cut your losses, save yourself the embarrassment. I convinced myself that nursing is not what I want to do. I remember vividly having this conversation with my parents. I told them, I literally woke them up in the middle of the night. I said, hey, I'm done with clinical. I'm not going back. And this is the thing in nursing school. You better have the best excuse ever to miss clinical. You don't just not go to clinical. I made the decision not to go to clinical the next day. So I knew I was quitting. It was no point in me going. No doctor's excuse, no nothing other than an email that I sent at 2:00 in the morning to the associate dean. I never will forget it. It was in October. Thank you for the opportunity. However, I do not think that this is the place that I should serve in healthcare. This seat belongs to somebody else who has a passion for this work. I don't know what I don't know what was going on through the mind of my dean at the time, but she said, Sam, I usually don't do things like this. I truly want to honor the students. You can meet with my academic advisor and she can give you the paperwork so that you can formally withdraw. She said, but do me a favor. Before you meet with her, is there any way that you could come and see me and so we can talk face to face? At that point, I was like, look, hey, I don't care what you say. My mind is already made up. But you know what happened when I went into her office?
Tell us. Come on and tell the people.
She prayed for me.
Wow. My God.
This isn't a private institution, a Christian-based college. This is a public institution. She took the time to pray for me. That was the last thing that I was expecting.
Wow.
And from this day to that has shaped what I feel that we, as just people, we have to show up authentically. If your gift is prayer, I don't care where you are, as a nurse, as an educator, whatever the case may be, you have to be who God called you to be. Because you never know what it's attached to. So that moment, the story goes on, that I continue on through nursing school after getting that olive branch extended to me. And I took it, and used it. But that showed me in that moment who God is. Wow. And just how powerful he is. And I don't mean to go that way, but I can only give you what I have. And that shaped, for me, one of the most necessary components of what it takes to, as a pre-nurse, as a nursing student, as a new nurse, whoever is this journey, you're going to have to believe in something. And I believe in God, but you're going to have to believe in something because this work is not easy.
It's not for, and it's not easy, and it's not for the faint of heart. That's, for sure. Just what a blessing for somebody to intercede for you. and to pray for you, pray with you, see what's going on, and just what a just such a beautiful thing, because not everybody does that or will do that for and with. Back to looking at your middle name again, Faith. And entitle this episode, beginning with being simply Faith, because those hard times can get real hard, in nursing school, and for future nurses and everything that are considering it, believe in somehow higher power, having somebody you can talk to, a confidant, if that's the dean, if that's a therapist, a counselor, but talk to somebody, don't go at it alone, because you mentioned a little bit earlier how you try to hide and do things by yourself, and just kind of waited till it got that bad and not be proactive. And those are exactly the things that I definitely talk to students about when I am, coaching them, or just past, talks and things that I've done. It's like, hey, let's be more proactive rather than reactive, because, a lot of people will say something like, don't make your urgency my emergency, or something like that. It's just like, nobody wants to hear it when, when you on that quarter tank of gas, when it's not even on the quarter tank no more, it's leaning on that E, and it's about to start puttering. No, you got to say something before you start getting down to that fourth tank of gas. Maybe when you between that halfway, a half a tank and the quarter tank, because if you get too low and it's too late, now you've missed your grace period, because sometimes people can help you, but when you have asked too late, they don't even have enough time. Even if they wanted to, they don't even have enough time to do things, to put things in place. And so I'm glad that she stopped you and that you reached out nevertheless to kind of get you to the point where you are now, and now inspiring, confidence, perseverance, and resilience in others, and from your own journey and everything.
Yes. So grateful.
Absolutely. And so I want to go into a brief commercial break, and then we'll be back, because I want to definitely find out from you some things about what you can help other students building in their confidence from your journey.
Do you remember that day you were sitting in high school and one of your instructors started talking about, it's time to start preparing your mind for college, thinking about where you want to go, setting goals for the test scores that you'll need to apply, the grades that you need to get while you're here, going on college tours, and making sure you apply for scholarships. That time it may have been new to you, but after a while, this is something you've heard time and time again, not only from your guidance counselor, but probably every teacher you've had along the way. You already know. This is what they do when they talk about college prep. But did they teach you about the career that you wanted to pursue? Something more specific. Something to get your career plans set more in motion. You don't see yourself sitting in that classroom anymore. When you were sitting there daydreaming, you know what you were thinking about? You were thinking about yourself sitting at the nurse's station at your local hospital, saving lives using the art and science of what nurses do.
Go ahead and schedule your one-on-one discovery call today. You're listening to an episode of Listen Up Future Nurse Podcast. Scan the QR code if you're watching, or click the link in the podcast show notes to get your virtual remote. Make sure to tune in and subscribe on Spreaker, and follow us on all your favorite podcast locations. And watch us live online on all of your favorite social media sites. Do you have ideas about who would be a great guest on this show, or perhaps you have a topic that you want discussed, let us know. Send me an email at info@nursinginspired.com or text at 773-609-0649.
All right, so we are back. So we talked about some of your challenges, just in your journey and, helping now the next generation. So what would you say are some key strategies that you would say for pre-nursing students, nursing, build confidence and overcome self-doubt?
I would say you have to know what helps you to feel confident. For me, information. The more information that I gathered that helped me in my decision making, instead of just showing up late to the party, preparation helps me. So I know for the pre-nursing stage, I went on the website. I scheduled calls with people who were in the at the college that I was interested in, and making sure that I asked questions. And then also, and this is so I didn't even know what questions to ask, but just a little side note, I used to do hair and I used to do braids and things like that. And God would always bring nurses as my clients. So that was an opportunity for me to ask them questions. I'm telling you, God would stand up for you. But so asking questions, even if you don't know what questions to ask, having a mentor is so important. If it's your school counselor, if you're in high school, joining organizations that are related to nursing. I know in high school, I was a part of HOSA, Health Occupation Students of America.
Yes.
And so some of my instructors in high school were nurses. So I did have, people to reach out to be able to ask questions, but do your research. And it's never, you can never research too much. And then just taking a chance to do something different. I was naturally just a very introverted, shy, kid growing up. But that determination to want something different outside of, where the conditions that I grew up in, that was my determination to, I might be afraid to ask the question. I don't know where the fearlessness came from when I was in high school, but I was asking as many questions as possible. So that helped me with my confidence. Gathered more information. And with nursing school, prayer. I used to be the person that said, okay, you're gonna have to give them a little bit more than that. And I'm honest about that I truly believe that we need practical advice. But that's where I started.
Yeah.
God, give me what to say. I don't know what to say. I don't know what questions to ask. Give me wisdom. I need help. And he gave it to me, you know what I mean? So those are my pieces of advice that I think help with confidence, but confidence building. But then I'm gonna say this last one, and this is the one that I think that it's hard for us to contend with, is fall down. You have to fall down and make mistakes. That is truly has been my biggest confidence builder, is the amount of times that I've fallen down, because it was in those moments that I learned that I, could get back up and overcome it. That has been the biggest thing that has given me the most confidence, because it didn't break me. But if you ever fail, or if you want a perfect journey, and if you're expecting a perfect journey, you're setting yourself up for failure. So being willing to fall down, that is one of the, if I wish that I would have accepted that and embraced that earlier, but I had to learn to embrace it. And releasing that desire for things to be perfect. I think a lot of times I find that nursing students and pre-nursing students, they have some of the same personality traits. They're perfectionists, they're linear thinkers. A plus B has to equal C.
Right.
But I'm telling you, that is a recipe for disaster when you
will select all of the pie.
so many gray areas, and I noticed the frustration that my students have. They just
Yeah.
want me to give an answer, and I'm like, you know what? If I could give you the answer, I probably would, but I
Mm,
can't. It's too many
yeah.
ways to answer this question.
Hmm.
So that falling down is what is going to help the critical thinking that is so necessary um,
Yeah.
to build your confidence.
Oh my God, especially now because they got to take that next gen. Woo!
Yes,
That right there. Yes. Yes.
I don't envy them. I do not envy
I
them at
don't
all.
envy. I don't envy them either. I'm grateful for the time that I came through, the time that I came through, and done. Don't have to ever look back.
Yes.
Oh, and so I love that just being able to talk about falling, not failing but falling, sometimes if it's riding a bike, if it's getting on some skates for the first time, whatever it is, but it didn't break you. Look, even if something did break, they healed you, didn't they? You walking again, you got your arm again, you all right.
Absolutely.
you know, you get back up and you dust yourselves off, So I really love, between that with that piece, just being open to that because, like you said earlier, the C's get degrees, and sometimes we'll also say sometimes for nursing, see your way out, of things, and it's not like that's necessarily the goal or that's your greatest effort of trying because we never want that to be the greatest effort, of course, because if that is, then you don't really have much room. But if you're somebody who overall does well, but maybe you got to see here or there, hey, let it go. You still there,
Right.
you still got your spot and they're not giving it to somebody else, which you just about almost did, which I'm so glad that you did not.
Yes.
Oh, that's so honorable of you. I mean, to write that email, I mean, somebody else would have just said, I'm gone. I can't do this. You were, not only thinking about yourself, like, I can't do this no more, but give this to somebody else. I mean, that was just so thoughtful and nice.
That's exactly what happened. I'm like, please, y'all, just get it to somebody who's gonna take advantage because I'm done. It's a wrap.
But by the grace, you made it through, nevertheless and everything. So with that, you had some struggles, sounds like not only with entering nursing school, but yeah, but then even during nursing school. Um, a lot of that, you can really beat yourself up with having a lot of that self-doubt. What on the flip end of things, instead of having self-doubt and having self-confidence instead, um, did you have any self-care practices in the midst of all of that you did or that you would like recommend to students to have? Because all that self-doubt, mind and body go together. The more you doubt yourself, you beat yourself down, you don't feel good mentally, you don't feel good physically. And so to kind of get yourself out of that or keep yourself out of that, what self-care practices did you have or would you recommend for students?
Looking back, I wish I did. Honestly, I do not recommend the way that I took in terms of not caring about myself. I cared
Mm,
more about the goal than I cared about
mm,
myself while I'm pursuing the goal.
okay.
Something told me in that moment of the pursuit, it was that I don't have time for that. I don't have time to take care of myself. I don't have time to
Mm,
sleep. I don't have time to get rest. And unfortunately, I did not do the best job of taking care of myself at
mm,
all. If I'm gonna
mm,
be honest, it really didn't take me until I got into my PhD program where I hit a huge brick wall,
mm,
where anxiety got the best of me that I learned just how important it is. And I wish I would have taken better care of myself even at the pre-licensure stage. And
mm,
so I highly recommend if you are in nursing school or even there are services available to you on your campus for therapy, take advantage
mhm,
of it. It's a part of you paying for it. It's a part of your fees. You are investing in that. Now, whether you use it or not, it was the thing that God used to change my life, honestly.
Mm.
I wish I would have taken advantage of it in undergrad for sure. Is
Wow.
the counseling services on campus.
My God, my God. And thank you so much for sharing that and giving that, honest moment of vulnerability. Um, while I was in undergrad, I was actually getting my bachelor's in biology. So I went into nursing after, but anxiety hit me hard too. Oh, did it hit me? And I started seeing that therapist. Yes, I did. And of course, and that was really, really hard coming from, the background, just being black. And, my mom's like a baby boomer. And it was just like, therapy, you don't need, you know, but I was like, look, it's somebody. I got to talk to somebody about what I'm going, what I got going on. And like you said, you paying for that as a service. And so I'm glad that I started that journey in my 20s to get therapy. And it was hard then because there was still just so much of a stigma about therapy and having any type of diagnosis and all of that. And it's just like, but now, there's apps and, there's all sorts of stuff out there. Which something I recommend to a lot of my patients because I see that are predominantly Black. So for them, therapist, so I tell them about therapy for Black girls and everything, which is an
Oh
excellent
yes,
resource rather. So that if they want to find somebody that look like them, they can go ahead. Although everybody, all skin codes folks and kin folks, hey, you can still go ahead and give it a try and do what you got to do.
see, because now, okay, let me stay focused. But let me just say, be willing. If the first person is not for you, it's okay. Just try somebody else until you get
Right.
your perfect fit. Okay.
Yes, yes. Say it again for the people in the back. Woo!
Yes,
I mean,
yes,
but some people will say, it's just like, now you wouldn't say that about getting your hair done because, like, if that one person didn't do your hair right, you're not gonna ever get your hair done again. Come on,
right.
now. You just got to find another one. So find somebody till you find your fit. And do your thing. But and the funny thing is, as I asked you about the self-care piece, I don't know necessarily that I had self-care then either. And I remember being in my nurse practitioner program, and my program director would always talk about yoga, and she'd host yoga classes. I'm like, no yoga. Guess what? After I graduated nurse practitioner school, I started doing it. Now I've probably been doing yoga for like maybe 7, 8 years now. And I'm
Mm.
like, man, I wish I was doing this, while I was in school. So a lot of mornings I'll do it before I go to work, like before these folks try to take stress me out. Let me go ahead and loosen this body up and loosen this mind up, and get
Listen.
myself together before I go in here. Because before you put on their oxygen mask, you better put yours on.
See, and this is let me just say this. I often tell, students, nursing students, that you are entering into a profession that you are giving, 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 giving. Nothing that you do is for you. Whatever
Mhm.
you do for that patient. So you have to find a way to pour back into yourself because you are pouring out. I don't care if
Mhm.
you're teaching, whatever you're doing in nursing, it's a service rendered like career. You are giving out like nothing. Nobody is gonna come pat you on the back because you got those blood pressure meds on time. Nobody. That's so you have to find a way to pour back into yourself.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll continue to monitor. Okay. That's nice and all, but did you monitor yourself? Did you monitor
Ooh.
how much water you're drinking? Okay. Did you monitor the last time you went to the bathroom?
Mm,
Did you eat?
mm.
That self-care piece is so real. And sometimes it takes us longer in our journey than others. But I'm glad, from your experience, from my experience, that we can tell others and kind of help, folks to try to find their way. And I'm glad you also mentioned about resources because another resource with you being in education, and let us know if you've helped students with this too, is when they can get like something through like the ADA. I forget what it's called exactly, but like they can get more time on exams and things
Oh
like that.
yes,
Yes.
yes. That's one of those things that I would highly recommend that you're proactive on. Don't wait until you fail that first exam.
Yeah.
Don't wait. Just go ahead and go on over there to their office. Even if let them do the evaluation, let them
Mm-hmm.
help you get the paperwork started. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. In
Mm-hmm.
nursing school, really is where students find out that they have, you know, that they need those extra resources so that they can be successful. So I'm gonna tell you a secret just on the educator side. We can see it, but we can't, you know what I'm saying? We can't nudge the student. We can make them, you know, let them know what's available to them, but we can't make them, you know, take advantage of it. But we want them to, like, please, we want you to be
Mm-hmm.
successful. So please
Wow.
go and take advantage of those. It's nothing that we're judging you for, and nobody has to know.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody.
That's true. That's true. Absolutely. You better do what you got to do, because at the end of it all, you worried about classmates or family, friends, or teacher, and all of that type of stuff. But you made it in there, and you made all those sacrifices to get into nursing school. So you want to do what you got to do to get through nursing school and beyond. At the end of the day, no patient is gonna say, "Oh, so you use those resources to take extra time on your test. Oh, well, you gonna take extra time with my medicine?" Nobody cares. No,
Nobody. Nobody.
nobody cares. Do what you got to do for you, okay? So I'm glad that we could kind of talk a bit about that. I want to go into a quick break again, and then I want to come right back. And this one's going to be really quick, okay? So just hang tight with me, okay, Dr. Samantha?
Okay.
Attention business owners, are you ready to tap into the fast-growing market of the nursing community? Partner with us to showcase your products or services to this dedicated audience. Nursing programs, especially at HBCUs, educational programs like CNA, phlebotomy, and CPR, healthcare staffing agencies, and businesses focused on self-care and mental health support. If you're a business focused on providing solutions for the nursing inspired, our platform provides a unique opportunity to especially connect with future nurses eager to invest in their education and career. You could be next for a sponsorship advertising opportunity on the Listen Up Future Nurse podcast. Contact us at info@nursinginspired.com to learn more about advertising opportunities today.
All right. So we have looked at so many parts of your journey, including being an educator and encouraging students, and kind of pivoting a little bit from that, but looking at part of your name and part of the title of today's episode. You have a blog called Simply Faith Friday. Tell us what inspired you to start your blog and how it's impacted the audiences that you serve.
So I started this blog. It's on Facebook. That's where it is. So if you follow me, you'll be able to get a chance to see it every Friday. But after I graduated from nursing school, I was just so impressed by what God allowed, how he allowed my journey to unfold. And it wasn't until after I graduated from nursing school where I saw just the footprint and the handprint of God throughout that entire journey. And I thought about what was my number one most successful tool. And it was my faith in God, honestly. And when I call it Simply Faith, because it was a process of self-discovery for me. Faith, of course, is my birth name. That's
Right.
my name that my mom gave me. But it just made me think simply, like, all you need is faith the size of a mustard seed. And it's just that simple thing that we often overlook. We think we need more than what we really need. And so my opportunity to pour out and inspire faith and to my readers, it's just to give them a dose of what faith looks like and how it shows up in my day-to-day life. So it's me taking the opportunity from my alone time with God to share what he gives me and just to encourage. It's one of my core values too. I love empowerment and I love encouragement. So it's an outlet that I've been blessed to just pour out through and to use just to share what I'm learning on my own faith journey.
Wow, amazing. And so with the blog, is this something for people that they can comment on, or do you do video? How is this go on in the Facebook group on Fridays?
So it's developing, but most primarily it's through written words. Every now and then I'll drop a video, and they, the people love the videos. I'm like, oh gosh. So I need to do more of it, but of course, primarily is written word. And they're able to come in and to give you feedback. And yeah.
Okay, all righty. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I started coming on here too, with the podcast, because I had my clubhouse for 2 years, and I was doing that, and it was audio only, and while it was great, and I had my Facebook groups and everything, there's just something about people being able to just see who you are, see your facial expressions, and see the light in your eyes when certain things, or see that disappointment, or whatever that thing is that you're talking about. People can really read your face and kind of really know what's going on. I have an area of the podcast that I want to make sure that I try to make sure to ask all my guests, and that is about, it's called Flip the Microphone. So I wanted to know, as we're getting ready to end this episode, which I feel like I should be asking you some more things, but I wanted to know from you, what questions do you have for me?
Nurses always come prepared, y'all. I'm gonna just let y'all know this. So when you need inspiration, what's your go-to song?
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a good one. It is a gospel song. Why is it? Well, I will say sometimes I'll tell Alexa in a minute, please play Never Would Have Made It. Woo! That's one of them right there. That's definitely one of them. Well, when he never would.
Listen.
Holler, Lord, jumping up and down. Yeah, that's definitely one of them for sure. Yeah, that's, I think, one of the biggest ones, I'll say. Oh, there's so many others. I'm seeing the videos for some of them, but I can't think of one.
Okay, yeah. That's a good one too. That get me in my feelings. And I got one more question for you.
Oh yeah, well, come on. Oh my gosh.
What's your favorite character trait about yourself, and how do you use that to inspire others?
Oh my God. Boy,
notice the inspiration.
Wow. Well, I guess so. Yeah. Well, I guess it would be how I inspire people, especially with having nursing inspired from what I have as a business. And the interesting thing with, you mentioning or asking that is that how I inspire people, not only in the classroom setting, with students that I mentor and coach, but I do it as well with my patients. And they're like, man, I would have never thought to start doing this or stop doing that. But it's just the way you said it. It's the way you told me. It's and I think behind that inspiration maybe is the education piece, the part that I put in there with that. I think I'll say more than anything is the way I explain things. I'm always, told. So I think I'll say it's the inspiration. But what was the other part of the question that you asked? The favorite point was the inspiration and
just how you use it.
Oh, and how I use it. Yeah. I just always love just seeing people's lives just change for the better, stay the way it is, if that's what they need, but otherwise change for the better. And it's just always just so nice to see, it's just like they have hope, and they're like, oh, and they got this new plan, and you can see their eyes like glisten, and they just like they're ready to go and do that thing, whatever that is. So if it's checking their blood pressure on a regular basis, if it's cutting out all those sugary drinks, to get that blood sugar down, if it's for the students, if it's networking on LinkedIn, whatever that thing is, I think I would say is my favorite trait and the thing that I get from it in doing that.
Thank you.
Oh. Well, thank you. Look at you. You might be maybe you might be a podcast host next. I'm just putting that.
Don't take it too fast.
Right. You do have a book coming out.
Yes.
So yes, tell us about the book. Tell us how we can reach you, follow you, and all the things.
So I thought about this. I said, I am a Facebook girly. You can catch me on Facebook.
All
and
right.
LinkedIn.
All right.
Yes, and then you'll of course be able to see. My goal is to create like a subscription list or something just to send out, to people. Of course,
Mhm.
when I launch the book next year, but it's Simply Faith, the Brown Girls Book of Encouragement, and it's me retelling some of the stories that I went through my own personal journey, and then being able to give resources. But the whole premise of this book is to share, of course, part of my journey, but to also normalize what their struggle looks like. Because I don't want anybody to go through this and feel like they're alone, like they're the only one. So giving them just tangible evidence that they're not by themselves.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And that you brought in there a brown girls, because we got some additional struggles that we may sometimes go through.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This has been such an amazing conversation.
Yes. I truly enjoyed myself.
Yes, I have been enjoying too. I'm like, boy, we might have to bring you back for a part two.
I'm open. I'm open. You made me feel so welcome, and thank you again for this platform. It's so amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so glad to have you. Well, as you all heard it, find her on Facebook, find her on LinkedIn. Those links will be in the show notes. Keep an ear and eye out for that book coming out. And then look out for the Facebook group as well if you are on Facebook, everybody. So Dr. Samantha Faith Calhoun, because we got to emphasize that faith.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you being my guest today. And I'll see you and everybody else the next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
5 years ago, the Power of We Symposium was created to provide a platform for kids from all sectors where they could have a safe and comfortable environment in which to share both their joys and concerns. The Power of We Symposium is proud to have served over 250 kids throughout Romania when we took our mission global back in May of 2023. Now, 2 teams of amazing volunteers from both the U.S. and Romania embarked on an 8-day Legacy of Hope tour, bringing encouragement and hope to not only the kids of Romania, but also the adults who support them, and also to over 100 kids here in the U.S. who contributed handwritten letters of hope to our Romania mission of 2023. Now, this year, we are proud to provide this opportunity yet again in October, and we are super excited to up our game. New venue, 750 kids this time, and we want to see you there. We're looking forward to meeting you in person at this year's event, which promises, as always, incredible speakers, amazing content, and of course, some of the greatest kids on the planet. So, mark your calendars for October 24th, and we'll see you here in Chicagoland for the Power of We Symposium 2024. This year's theme is Always Together, Never Alone. Tickets are available now on Eventbrite or at powerofwesymposium.com.
All right, it's a wrap. Make sure to watch us live, listen to your favorite podcast locations, leave us a review, or if you'd like to reach out to support this podcast, reach out to me as a speaker, or sign up for coaching, please use your virtual remote. You can give us a review on your favorite place to listen or watch this podcast, such as Google, Yelp, or Trustpilot, and you can reach those from the virtual remote as well by scanning the QR code on the screen or by visiting bit.ly/Future Nurse Podcast. Love what we're doing and want to create live streams like this? You can access the sign-up referral link in the show notes for StreamYard. If you'd like to be organized like the virtual remote, consider making one for your next event or as a link in bio with Societap. Please support this Black female-owned company and get yours today.